Alright, so this is a follow-up on the trade here. Um, One second. Okay, so what they're doing over here. This is a pretty big range. Like over here, this is. I mean, there's a significant amount of distribution here. But anyway, what I wanted to discuss was initially the sell signal. I think it came like right here. But as you know, in strong uptrends, if you're gonna counter trend, expect an upthrust first. And in strong downtrends, if you're going to counter trend and go bullish for a small move, if you're gonna counter trend, you could expect what is that? A spring. So, or a shakeout, because I mean that's just the way it is. Strong trends, people keep buying the pullbacks. That's what they do, or selling the pullbacks and bear trends. So anyway, as well as the breakouts, that's very common. So over here, you initially had a sell signal, it up thrusted, giving the picture that it's going to go bullish. But like I explained in yesterday's video, it's not that easy to take out an area. Yeah, could it have continued? Of course, it could have continued. But when it went up, when it broke out, when it penetrated the high, it did that overnight, and there was no big volume over here. You see, it says zero. That means it was. I mean, I'm rounding it off, but it's good enough to say it's low volume because the initial distribution was established here where it says 11 to 9. There's 11,000 and 9,000 contracts. All they did was an upthrust, and that really leads me to the point. The point is not, oh yeah, I got this, whatever. The point is, the point is, when you put on these trades, expect a spring or an upthrust, especially when you are counter trending. All right, so this is expected behavior, and your springs and upthrusts will occur, and that's why Wyckoff didn't put the stop when he explained the stop. He never put it right above the high or below the low. He gave additional room because the nature of these markets is that they will test higher levels before going down, and they also, as everyone knows, they want to catch breakout buyers. Why? Because it gives them ability to sell more as these guys are buying, so they can add to their line of distribution because they're going to buy here and they can sell, offload more contracts. So it's just additional distribution, you know. Um, and the other thing is, if price does retest, these trapped traders, they will have to sell, creating additional selling pressure for the market to go down in the direction that these large traders want it to go. So they use these maneuvers. It's almost like I don't want to say insurance policy, but imagine this: like you rally it because this is a zone of distribution, right? So you rally it, the buyers will buy, allowing strong hands to sell. So they're able to sell more, okay? Especially if these buyers are not buying in the zone or in the range, they will buy the breakout. So that's one plus for them because they're able to sell um, additional contracts. That's the first thing. Second is if these guys are stuck, right? If they're stuck and price goes down and then all of a sudden it's retesting, then these guys that are stuck will have to sell. If they're selling, it creates additional selling pressure for that market to continue down. That's the way I view it. Anyway, let's go back over here. Um, so again, the sell signal, it was a little confused over here because all of this up, down, up, down, up, down, and then finally over here it's very clear, and you have a break. But was there a tip off? Absolutely, there was a tip off. If you first of all the upthrust failed. Second of all, there's 9,000 contracts sold. One after that, and even if you don't, even if that's not appealing, right here, look at this. This is before the break. Someone sold 19,000 contracts before the break in this area of the green bar, in this green red area right here. Like, let me you see that? Oh, the box is too big, but that green and that red, in that area before the breakdown, there's a print that you see there. Obviously they know they sold 19,000 contracts, and across this line, across the zone, 46,400 and something across the zone. This is yeah, this is you know it's obviously it's distributive, but I was showing this before it happened because I thought that this was the initial distribution that would cause a pullback, to go to support, but it's hard to time. So instead of doing it yesterday, what they did was they rallied it to an upthrust, right? Rally it to an upthrust, and then sell it off today, Friday. So the only way you're gonna get this type of move, A, you gotta know stop placement, and B, I think it's basically a lot of it was stop placement, and B is accepting uncertainty, like, because there's a lot of bullish news out about the trade deal and European, China, blah blah blah, right? And look at what they're doing on it. Whoever people must have known that back here somewhere, you know. So sell it, and that's all there is. And again, I'm going to show it on the lower time frame. This was the initial sell-in right here, where it says 11,000. Then they rallied it and really slick, because this is where the breakout buyers were trapped, where you have 17,000, right? This was done overnight. And I noticed, like, when it was green, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, 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 red, so it wasn't consecutive. So that was an interesting point. But could it have gone higher? I mean, yeah, but this was what it turned out was up thrust maneuver, and then rally it down, pull back to test, offering the low risk opportunity. I actually got a signal on the bar chart here too. That little salmon colored bar, whatever. It came over here too, but it's all about stop placement. And then now it's done. Okay, now the next thing to note is that when you have these rallies and there's so many bars up there like that, this is not very minor distribution. It's like they're cleaning house. And that's important to know, because we're going to take a look at the count and see what the counts are and if they've been exhausted. Alright, and I think that this count, this higher count, I think is tagged. Look at the volume that's coming in. 200 times, I think, 10,000. So I don't know, 2 million or something up there. Anyway, I'm going back to sleep. Have a good day. Bye bye.